If I had to use one word to describe light, I would use the word radiance. There's a brilliance and a sense of direction that comes from light. If you are in a totally pitch dark room and there's the smallest element of light, then that light chases the darkness, but the darkness cannot overrule the light. So associated with light is a warmth, associated with darkness is a coolness that I think is very significant. The light of Christ is what many people would call a conscience, but it's more than a psychological effect that takes place within people. Someone can be riding on a bus, see someone in distress, and feel a compassion and a desire to assist and serve this person. Many people would say, nah, that's just natural behavior. But it's more. It is the influence of God that pulls us, that influences us to be good and to do good. Every person ever born in history, now, in the future, is influenced by the light of Christ for goodness. As we yield to that influence to do good and become good, then the light of Christ increases within us. As we disobey, light is decreased and can ultimately be diminished. People sometimes will question whether it's inspiration or whether it's my own thought. We have to act, then we find out if it's coming from me or if it's the power of God. So, for example, you may have an occasion where you fail to say your morning prayers, and you all of a sudden hear the voice of your mother, who, when you were a small boy, would say, remember to say your morning prayers, remember to say your evening prayers. Well, why would God send an angel to deliver that message to you when the Holy Ghost can bring back to you the recollection or the remembrance of your angel mother reminding you to pray? The effect is the same. Everything that invites and entices us to do good and to be good comes from God. People might ask, well, why not make it easy to recognize all the time? I would suggest that the simple answer is because God trusts us. He shouldn't have to dramatically shake us to get our attention. Those who are baptized members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints receive by the laying on of hands the gift of the Holy Ghost. Now, any person anywhere in the world can and is influenced by the Holy Ghost. But after baptism by proper authority, one receives this ordinance of the Holy Ghost. That gift, as it operates in our life, as we seek and ask, invites inspiration from heaven and revelation. When sons and daughters of God communicate with Him, we call it prayer. When He communicates with us, it comes in a variety of methods, means, or channels. We're talking about the patterns whereby God communicates with His children here upon the earth. Revelation is communication from God to His children here upon the earth. Sometimes those messages come quickly and rather dramatically. I've compared that to a light being turned on in a dark room, where very suddenly the darkness is expelled and you can see everything in the room quite clearly and brilliantly. I would suggest that that pattern of receiving messages from God is more rare than common. A second pattern is when the light comes gradually, much like the rising of the sun. You can discern the increase of light on the horizon, but never all at once. This pattern of revelation, I would suggest, is more common than rare. Sometimes receiving inspiration is like a foggy day. There's enough light that you can tell it's not darkness anymore, it's not night. But it's not brilliantly illuminated. You can see just enough to take a few steps ahead into the cloudiness. I don't know about other people, but it occurs that way for me all the time. There's enough to just take a few steps, and then the light continues to help me see just far enough ahead that I can continue to press forward. As we follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, He is the light. One of His names is the light. As we follow His example and live according to His teachings, there is illumination for all the aspects of our life. To the degree that we reject Him and reject His teachings, we're on our own. I much prefer to follow His light. I know when there is a power beyond my own that comes from God to me and through me, which is the spirit of revelation.